Hey guys, I'm going to be giving some information about author's point of view. This PowerPoint is going to give some specific information about the different point of views. I included the quick reference page in the module, but the PowerPoint will give more information that can be used as you complete your discussion post as well as your assignment. So there are several different types of point of view. Probably the most commonly used is the first person point of view. So in the first person point of view, the narrator is telling the story, and we are totally aware of the main character's feelings, fully aware of the thoughts the character's having. Some benefits of this point of view are that the reader can see from the perspective of a very important character, most commonly the main character. Readers can also understand the main character better. So I included an excerpt at the bottom of this slide from Shakespeare's Hamlet, and this particular excerpt is written in first person. So we see words like I and my, all of those pronouns that show the character is talking about himself or herself in another story. Now, there are some disadvantages to this point of view because the narrator may be unreliable. The narrator might have a narrow-minded mindset or outlook. So in this point of view, the readers are only seeing that one perspective, which could be a downside of that first person point of view. Next, we have the second person point of view, and this is the most rarely used among authors when writing, but you can identify the second person point of view by words like you and your. And in this type of writing, the author is offering commands to the reader using those you and your pronouns. So in the second person point of view, the narrator is often talking to himself or herself, kind of like an inner or even verbal monologue, talking to himself or herself. So I included an excerpt from Dr. Seuss's Oh, the Places You Will Go, and you can see those yous in there and yours. It's like it's speaking to the reader and telling the reader what to do or giving a command. So in the second person point of view, we do have kind of that inner monologue or the author or the narrator giving commands. So this is one you'll see rarely, but it is a point of view that authors use. Lastly, we have the third person point of view, and on our quick reference page, I only just spoke about third person kind of in a general perspective, but in our PowerPoint, I added more specific information because there are actually 3 different types of the third person point of view. So on this slide, I have the third person point of view, the omniscient type. So in this point of view, the narrator is all-knowing, kind of godlike, and conveys the thoughts and feelings of all characters. So when this point of view is used, the reader can really enter all of the characters' minds. We know everything in the past, the present, and the future. The narrator could be even outside of the text, just kind of like that presence that is all-knowing about the characters. But in this point of view, there are some disadvantages because the narrator can seem not lifelike. They know all and tell all. So it kind of gives that perspective that they may not be real. And sometimes it can feel kind of artificial or fake, just based on how the author uses that omniscient point of view. On this next slide, we have the third person limited. So in this point of view, the narrator can see into one character's mind and reveal that character's thoughts and feelings, while the other character's thoughts and feelings are kept private. So when this point of view is used, the author is giving the impression that we are very close to the mind of one character, though it may seem that the narrator is kind of viewing them from a distance. So sometimes in this point of view, the narrator can be too focused on his or her own opinions of that particular character, which can maybe be a downside. In the third person objective, the narrator just describes all of the characters, but does not reveal the characters or one character's thoughts and feelings. So you can think of this as the narrator kind of sitting back, recording what's happening, kind of reporting what's happening and what the characters are saying, but not really getting into those deep conveying the thoughts and feelings of the characters. So the narrator is not adding any comments or opinions about how the characters are feeling, and the narrator does not comment on the mood, the setting, just doesn't give any details that pertain to thoughts or feelings. So on this next slide, I have kind of the same scenario written in each point of view just to show you how they can look different. So for the first person point of view, I wrote it like me, I'm a teacher. So I said, I am going to do an exciting science experiment with my class today. I hope my students enjoy it. So I'm using that I'm telling my thoughts and feelings. Now, when this scenario is written second person, it's like I'm talking to myself. So I might say, according to your lesson plans, you are going to conduct a science experiment with your class today. You are prepared and hope that your students are engaged and excited to participate. So that's kind of like an inner monologue I might be having with myself in second person. In third person omniscient, this is when the narrator is all-knowing. So I'm telling the thoughts and feelings of all characters. So I would say, Miss Gruber spent her whole weekend planning an exciting science experiment to do with her students. As she walked into her classroom on Monday morning, she was eager to begin her exciting lesson. The students slowly walked into class as they were still tired from a long weekend. Miss Gruber excitedly began her lesson, and the students enthusiastically participated. So that's the all-knowing, conveying thoughts and feelings of all the characters. Now, in the limited omniscient, this is where the narrator is just revealing the thoughts of one character, kind of like an outsider. So the example for this scenario, Miss Gruber spent her whole weekend planning an exciting science experiment to do with her students. As she walked into her classroom on Monday, she was eager to begin her exciting lesson. The students came into the classroom and she excitedly began her lesson. Now, when this scenario is written from the third person objective, this is when the narrator is like an onlooker, just telling what's happening. So on Monday morning, Miss Gruber was ready to begin her lesson. She started as soon as the students came in on Monday morning. The students participated and were successful with the science experiment. So this is like an onlooker just kind of saying what's happening and what the characters are doing. So the author's use of point of view can just have such power in the story that he or she is writing. So you will be exploring with this more as you work through your discussions and your assignment. So I hope this PowerPoint can be used as a reference for you.